If I could have everyone's attention. No. If I could have everyone's attention just for a moment. People. Looks like we're kind of getting rolling, so I'd like to welcome everyone to Wheatland Electric Cooperative's 2023 annual meeting. In addition to having the meeting here in Scott City, we'll be streaming the meeting live at 7 additional locations: Leota, Tribune, Syracuse, Garden City, Great Bend, Harper, and Caldwell. At these meetings, you will be able to vote, ask questions, and of course, be eligible for door prizes. So before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to please fill out your prize slips, place them in the drummer box at your location, and if you have not already done so. At Wheatland, we'd like to start every meeting with a safety tip, and today's tip is 46% of all electrical fatalities are caused by contact with overhead power lines. Always assume all lines are live and dangerous. Carry equipment, including ladders, horizontally to avoid contact with power lines, and stay at least 35 feet away from downed power lines. As you can see, the food's ready. Continue to partake. Members in Scott City, obviously, will just go through the buffet line. Box lunches will be served at the remote locations. I'd like to give a special thank you to Yours Truly Gift and Flower Shop for the beautiful floral arrangements, both here and at the remote locations, as well as John Ross Catering for serving the meal here in Scott City. So again, before we get started, I'd like to ask John L. Sullivan, District 6 trustee, to come up and perform the invocation. Thank you.
Can I get everybody to be in an attitude of prayer, please? Heavenly Father, we thank you for the many gifts that you have given us, especially your grace, your mercy, and your love. Today, Lord, we ask for your blessing as we celebrate Wheatland's 75th anniversary. We are so grateful to the membership that we serve, our dedicated employees, and especially the communities in which we live. A sense of community has been the backbone to Wheatland's success over the past 75 years. Having a sense of community unites us all and makes us feel as though we are part of something greater than ourselves. Lord, we thank you so much for the much-needed rain, the meal that has been prepared, and for all the people who worked hard to put this meeting together. Lord, help us to use the many gifts that you have given us and to let our light shine for all to see, and give us the courage to help those you put in our path. In your name we pray, amen.
Good. Is that it? Yeah, start at noon and the rest. Good afternoon. If I could have everyone's attention, please. The 2023 annual meeting of Wheatland Electric Cooperative Incorporated will now be called to order. We will begin with the presentation of colors, Pledge of Allegiance, and National Anthem. Posting of the colors is presented by Army Sergeant Daniel Ryan, Army First Sergeant Harold Irwin, Army Private Jacob Irwin, and Army Sergeant Trevor Fisher. Please post the colors. Please remain standing. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the national anthem will be sung by the Scott Community High School Encore.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
May be seated. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome each of you to the 2023 annual meeting. We told Allie earlier today that if an annual meeting will bring a rain, she's going to have to do it once a month. Haven't heard back from her yet on that. But anyway, thank goodness for the rain. Awesome deal. If you've not already done so, please fill out your prize slip and raise your hand so we may come by and collect them. We won't be announcing any prize winners during the meeting except for the grand prize winner. The remaining prize winners will be displayed on the video screen at the conclusion of the meeting. Prize winners who are in Scott City today will be able to pick up their prize after the meeting. If you're a winner at one of the remote locations, we will notify you of when and how you will be able to pick up your prize. Several of today's prizes were presented or donated by vendors, and we would like to thank each of them for their contributions. At this time, I'd like to introduce the officers and trustees of the cooperatives and their spouses. I'm your president, Mark Arnold, from District 7 in Caldwell. My wife, Leslie, is president at the Caldwell Satellite. She said it's raining there too, so good deal. Your president is vice president is Katie Eisenhower from District 1 of Scott City. Secretary is Stacy Addison Hallen from District 4 in Syracuse. Your treasurer is Josh Young from District 2 in Leota. From District 3, Tribune, your trustee is Mike Tone. Wes Campbell represents District 5 from Garden City. He is in attendance today with his wife, Debbie. John Kleistuber also represents District 5 from Garden City. Representing District 6, Great Bend, is John Sullivan. Also from District 6, Great Bend, is Bob Hiss. Bob is attending at the Great Bend Satellite today. Representing District 7 from Harper is Dustin Stansberry. Our CEO and General Manager, Bruce Miller, who is here with his spouse, Sharon, will introduce the Wheatland executive team. Bruce?
Thank you, Mark. Making up our executive team is Jim McVeigh, our Assistant General Manager and Counsel. Rick Klaus, our Director of Operations there in the back. Barbara Kirk, Director of Human Resources. Tracy Goddard, Director of Finance and Accounting. Jevin Castleman, Director of Information and Technology. Pam Broomgart, Director of Consumer Services. Luke West, our Director of Corporate Services and Water Division. Allie Conine, Director of Member Services and Corporate Communications. Quentin Wheeler, Manager of Safety and Compliance. And Reed Thurman, our Executive Assistant. I would like now to introduce special guests in attendance today. First of all, we had Todd Hillman. He's the CEO, General Manager of Sunflower Electric. Jerry Whitley, Communications Coordinator at Sunflower Electric. Nikki Fanninsteel, Manager of Member Services at Sunflower Electric. Annie Ebert, Key Accounts Director of Sunflower Electric. Richard McLeon, CEO and General Manager of Lane Scott Electric Co-op. In the back, there it is. Mike Morley, Communications Director at Midwest Energy. Janie Huxman, Communications Specialist at Midwest Energy. Vicki Estes, Director of Communications and Editor at Kansas Electric Cooperatives. Mike Lewis, he's the Regional Vice President at CFC. Curtis Cathcart, he's with City of Garden City. Everett Green, the Mayor of Scott City. And then we have Brad Pendergast, the City Administrator of Scott City. Thank you all for attending. With that, I'll turn it over to you, Mark.
At the time this meeting was called to order, there were 573 members present in person and 126 members present by proxy. As long as the total number of members does not exceed 1,000, 5% of that total number of persons present in person shall constitute a quorum. In case the total number of members shall exceed 1,000, 50 members shall constitute a quorum. As our membership exceeds 1,000 and there are 573 members registered in person, I declare the existence of a quorum. Unless there are objections, I will entertain a motion to dispense of the reading of the official notice, affidavit of mailing, and certificate of memberships. I hear a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll have Jim McVeigh summarize these items.
For letting me know how to turn mine on. There you go. Sorry about that. It's my job to summarize the notice requirements and others that allows us to legally gather here today. 2023 annual meeting was held today, as you know, in Scott City, Kansas, and in 7 different offices. Registration opened at 10:30. The formal meeting started at noon. The 2023 nominating committee met on March 16th of 2023, nominating 4 candidates for trustee. The following trustees have been nominated by the nominating committee for the position of trustee for a 3-year term. In District 1, Katie Eisenhower. District 2, Josh Young. District 4, Stacy Addison Howland. And District 5, John Kleistuber. In addition, the following candidate has been nominated by a petition as established in the Wheatland bylaws. For the election in District 1, Lynn Freeze. The affidavit of mailing as well as a certificate of membership has been properly filled out, and therefore we may proceed. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Jim. Each of you received a copy of the minutes of the 2022 annual meeting of the members of Wheatland Electric Cooperative Incorporated, included in the registration bag. Unless there are objections, I would entertain a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes. Heard a motion, a second. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Well, we've already done that. All those in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll now see a video presentation of the financial report.
Good morning. My name is Tracy Goddard, the Director of Finance at Wheatland Electric Cooperative. I am pleased to welcome you all to a very special annual meeting. This year, 2023, we're celebrating 75 years since our inception in 1948. 75 years is a long time, and over the years, we've faced countless challenges as we've grown and evolved. As we've navigated these challenges, I feel confident in sharing that the leaders of our organization, past and present, have always put fiscal stewardship first. As a member-owned cooperative, we're here to serve our members rather than a bottom line. Your economic participation is one of our guiding principles, and we appreciate you taking the time today to learn more about our financial standing. Please take a moment now to direct your attention to the financial information included in the annual report that you received during registration this morning. This summarizes Wheatland's audited financials for the year ending December 31st, 2022. Listed first are the cooperative's income and expenses. The income segment is comprised of revenues from the cooperative's electric and water divisions, interest income, capital credits from other cooperatives, and non-operating income. Income totaled $114 million for 2022. Included in income is a portion of the $7.2 million that Wheatland received from an annexation lawsuit against the City of Garden City for the loss of future electric revenues. This will be spread over a 3-year period. In addition, $2.2 million is recognized in interest income stemming from the same lawsuit. Another income component is a non-cash allocation from our power supplier, Sunflower Electric. When Sunflower retires patronage capital credits or makes a cash distribution to Wheatland, the Board of Trustees determines how to distribute any cash received. In December 2022, the Wheatland Board of Trustees approved retirement of $2.25 million of capital credits, of which $250,000 were from Sunflower. The membership received checks if the retirement exceeded $25 threshold. Next are the expenses totaling $107 million in 2022. The cooperative's most significant expense is the cost of power. Wheatland's average cost of power for 2022 was 7.1 cents per kilowatt hour, increasing from 6.4 cents in 2021. Rising natural gas prices were a driving factor for the increase. 2022's total profit equaled $7 million. Presented next is Wheatland's 2022 balance sheet. The cooperative's plant assets were $388 million at the end of the year. Wheatland continues to perform maintenance and improve the infrastructure of the distribution system to improve the safety, reliability, and quality of electricity to enhance the lives of the members we serve. The final piece of information I would like to share with you today is property taxes, which support local governments in funding community schools, streets, parks, first responders, and community safety. Wheatland Electric pays a substantial amount in property taxes each year. The annual report provides a detailed listing by county. In 2022, Wheatland paid property taxes in 15 counties totaling $3.4 million. To summarize the year 2022, Wheatland experienced many victories, such as winning the annexation lawsuit and prepaying $19 million in long-term debt. The cooperative continues to comply with debt covenants required by our lenders. Striving to continue building a stable equity position has allowed Wheatland to continue the tradition of retiring capital credits annually. This has resulted in capital credit payments to you, a cooperative member owner, totaling $7.2 million over the last 6 years. This is just one of the many benefits of being a member of a cooperative. This concludes Wheatland's financial report for the year ending December 31st, 2022. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you for your time and your involvement in your cooperative. We hope that you enjoy the remainder of the annual meeting.
The financial report, wow. Sorry about that. The financial report was published in the April of 2023 issue of the Kansas Country Living magazine, along with the official notice of meeting mailed to each member. Are there any questions relative to the report? We're going to give it a few seconds to see if anybody at any of the satellites has a question as well. All right. No questions. I would call for a motion to accept the financial report as mailed to each member of the cooperative. Hear a motion? Second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bruce?
Thanks, Mark. Now we will see a video presentation of our 2022 annual summary. Please enjoy this video of our activities and accomplishments of the previous year. Hello. 2023 is a big year at Wheatland Electric. That's because we're celebrating 75 years since the inception of our cooperative in 1948. That's when 9 visionary Western Kansans took matters into their own hands to bring reliable and affordable electricity to our region. Electricity to light our homes, water our farmlands, and transform us into the economically thriving region we call home today. I'm Bruce Miller, CEO and General Manager of Wheatland Electric Cooperative, Inc., and I'd like to welcome you today to our 2023 annual meeting celebrating 75 years, and I hope you feel the power of our past, present, and tomorrow. Members are joining us today from 7 remote meeting locations across our service territory to increase transparency for our members and to allow for more member participation. As we look back on 2022, I'm excited for you to hear our story. It was a year filled with new ideas, new opportunities, new initiatives, and a renewed sense of commitment to the membership we serve. You'll learn more about how Wheatland is protecting our co-op service territory, cybersecurity, and our new substation protection plan. We'll also be sharing with you the improvements made at our facilities to ensure employee and member safety. And we'll also touch on how we continue to enhance the lives of our members and serve the long-term interest of the communities we serve.
Hello, I'm Jim McVeigh. I am the Assistant General Manager and the General Counsel at Wheatland. Today, I'd like to share information regarding Wheatland's legal efforts over the past several years that had a significant impact on Wheatland's financial position in 2022 and again in 2023. As Wheatland's members, owners, you'll see how we are protecting your co-op's assigned service territory. This began in 2017 when Wheatland's general manager, Bruce Miller, started a new initiative to protect Wheatland's assigned service territory. By law, Wheatland is assigned a specific electric service territory by the Kansas Corporation Commission. In that territory, only Wheatland is allowed to serve members. The first emphasis in this new initiative was to lobby the Kansas legislature to change the law that would require Kansas municipalities to pay just compensation when it annexes any rural electric cooperative's assigned service territory into the city limits. The old law made it more difficult to keep low electric rates in rural Kansas because after annexation, a cooperative had fewer members and customers to spread out the cost of electric service. A second focus of this new initiative was to field audit the surrounding area of Garden City to ensure that Garden City was not violating the law by serving customers in Wheatland's assigned service territory. Surprisingly, this audit showed that Garden City was violating Wheatland's assigned electric service territory at several locations near the Garden City corporate limits. At first, Wheatland attempted to negotiate with Garden City. These were areas that Garden City knew it had no right to serve. These negotiations were successful except for in 3 instances in which the city refused to vacate its service to customers that should have been members of Wheatland. Wheatland was forced to file suit to protect the service territory that Wheatland had held since 1959. This suit was highly successful. It took a few years, but when this suit wound its way through the court system, in 2022, Wheatland obtained a judgment in its favor against Garden City in the amount of approximately $9.4 million. Through a payment received in 2022 and another in January 2023, Wheatland recovered the full amount, including interest. Wheatland's management determined that this full amount should be used to pay long-term debt. This has and will continue to have a positive effect on Wheatland's financial position for years to come. It will also help us continue our mission of delivering energy for life. Thank you for your attention, and please enjoy the remainder of your annual meeting.
Good afternoon. I am Jevin Castleman, Director of Information Technology for Wheatland Electric. Today I'm going to talk to you about substations, which are critical components of the electrical grid. These facilities are responsible for transforming and distributing electricity from high voltage power lines to lower voltage distribution networks. As a result, they play a crucial role in ensuring the reliability and stability of the electrical grid. However, their importance also makes them potential targets for cyber and terrorism threats. Therefore, ensuring the security of substations is of utmost importance. Cyber threats could come in the form of malicious software, phishing emails, or hacking attempts. An attacker could exploit system vulnerabilities to gain unauthorized access to the substation's network and control systems, leading to power outages and equipment damage. This highlights the importance of implementing a robust cybersecurity measure to protect against these threats. Terrorist attacks on substations could also cause widespread power outages, leading to disruption of essential services and even economic loss for long periods of time. Substation transformers are very costly, so you don't usually have a spare sitting around. Repair or replacement of these transformers can take upwards of 18 to 36 months, leaving a strain on the utility to supply power. At Wheatland, we take these threats very seriously and have implemented controls to help ensure the safety of our substations and the electrical grid. Utilizing access controls as well as physical security measures, we are providing a security barrier to keep the threat actors out and our systems secure. You, the co-op member, can also assist us in this endeavor. Be on the lookout. If you see suspicious activity in or around any of Wheatland substations, do not hesitate to call law enforcement and notify them of any suspicious activity. In conclusion, the security of a substation is essential for the stability and reliability of the electrical grid. Cyber and terrorism threats are real and can cause real harm to our way of life. If you have questions or would like to discuss these items in more detail, please feel free to reach out.
Good afternoon. My name is Luke West, and I'm the Director of Corporate Services and Water here at Wheatland Electric. I'd like to update everyone about some of our facility improvements in recent years and how these projects have enhanced not only our safety culture, but also improved our ability to serve our membership as well. Wheatland completed 2 larger projects this past year at our Scott City and Leota offices. The primary objectives that we set out to achieve with these projects were to provide added security measures that could guard against the potential for unwelcomed intruders and armed threats, and also to enhance access, communications, and ergonomics for both our customer service representatives and our members. To accomplish our first objective, new hardened solid core doors with card swipe locks and new bullet-resistant glass and bullet-resistant wall panels were installed inside the member foyer and customer service representative work areas. For our second objective, we installed ergonomic enhancements for customer service representatives, including new equipment and new counters. This new equipment provides options for representatives to either sit or stand while carrying out their daily tasks. New casework, new lighting, new chairs, new carpet, and new paint were a few of the other improvements that greatly contributed into making this working environment less strenuous, more productive, more comfortable, and ultimately more safe for our employees. In order to enhance access and communications for our co-op membership, we also installed payment kiosks inside our foyers. These kiosks, which have now been installed across all district offices, provide greater access and enhanced payment options for members like you. Installation of electronic speaker ports was another enhancement for communications. These adjustable speakers allow our customer service representatives and our members to communicate more clearly through the new glass. These speakers have now been installed at all our other district offices as well. Regarding the Leota project, I'd also like to point to the addition of a new automatic door opener, which provides easy and better access for anyone with mobility challenges. As part of a smaller project at our Harper location, this office also recently received a few improvements as well. We replaced the drive-up payment drawer, which ultimately helped resolve many access and ergonomic related issues not only for our employees, but for our membership as well. The addition of these added security measures have now been fully implemented at all 7 district office locations, and we'll continue to implement and improve ergonomic needs at all offices for helping to create a more flexible and safer work environment for all. If you have questions or would like to discuss these items in more detail, feel free to reach out. Thank you.
2022 was our biggest, brightest, and best year yet. Hi, I'm Allie Conine, Director of Member Services and Corporate Communications. At Wheatland, we've always put the good of our community first. While our primary function is to provide services that are safe, reliable, and competitively priced, we are more than an electric provider. As a cooperative, we strive to enhance the lives of our members and serve the long-term interests of the communities we serve. And today, I'm going to share what we've been doing to improve the lives of our members, just like you. We did at Wheatland for the 9th year in a row. We raised a record-breaking number of donations during Cram the Van. In 2022, we sought out to think big and bring big energy across Southwest and Central Kansas. Thanks to our generous members, sponsors, schools, and other community partners across our Southwest and Central Kansas territory, we were able to collect a total of 54,599 pounds for a dozen local food banks. That total, just over 27 tons, was a 22% increase over our 2021 collection of 44,576 pounds, and that brings our combined 9-year food drive total to 226,908 pounds, or just over 113 tons of food. In 2014, our inaugural year, our food drive collected 6,615 pounds of food. Our 2022 We Think Big campaign comprised 10 in-person donation events across our service territory between September and November, where we brought our big energy and big ideas to the forefront of our food drive. Speaking of big ideas, this year, 2023, is a special year for Wheatland, not only because it marks 75 years since our inception, but it will also mark a decade of our Cram the Van food drive. And this year, we are thinking even bigger. Wheatland is excited to announce that we are committing $50,000 to help power the pantry this fall. We've said it before and we'll say it again. The way we do things might change, but our why remains the same. That's because, as a cooperative, concern for community is one of our governing principles. We work daily for the sustainable development of our communities through policies supported by our members. And I can assure you that you will feel the power as Wheatland powers the pantry with a $50,000 commitment in 2023. There's no doubt about it, 2022 was a standout year. I hope you feel the power of your cooperative as I share what powered us through the year. We returned a record $2.25 million in capital credits to our membership. We had record attendance, 501 members at our 74th annual meeting. We hosted new events for our young adult members, including free food at Great Bend Batcats and Garden City Wind baseball games, and a highly successful chamber business after hours at Dry Lake Brewing in Great Bend. In 2022, we began offering tours of our outdoor green space at our new Great Bend facility. We've had about 150 visitors so far come and learn more about renewable energy through the wind, solar, and water resources that power the small park. We distributed $1,000 grants to 25 community-based organizations throughout our Southwest and Central Kansas service territory to bolster deserving projects and improve the quality of life for the communities we serve. Line crews hosted 30 safety demos to educate everyone from school-aged children to critical first responders like EMTs and firefighters on staying safe around power lines. 43 Wheatland employees and trustees sponsored a record number of 105 kids for St. Francis Ministries Christmas for Kids. Wheatland also awarded a $1,000 Sharing Success grant to fulfill additional wish lists for foster kids in need. Wheatland secured $9.4 million in funds following a years-long legal battle to protect our co-op service territory. Wheatland put Southwest and Central Kansas on the national EV map by installing 2 ChargePoint public charging stations at our Garden City and Great Bend office locations. In 2022, our inaugural year, we had at least 254 individual charging sessions by 164 unique drivers. And we hosted 8 public ride and drive events so members could get behind the wheel of our electric Hyundai Kona and discover the power of driving electric. And for the second consecutive year, the Member Services team received national recognition from the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association, or NRECA. Our team took home a Silver Spotlight on Excellence Award for the best annual report. We continue to put Wheatland on the map at the national level. 2022 was a year filled with new ideas, new opportunities, new initiatives, and a renewed sense of commitment to the membership we serve. We'll keep moving forward as we prepare for an even more powerful tomorrow. And we look forward to powering the pantry this fall to serve our communities and empower the lives of our members.
Overall, when we look at our performance in 2022, we've had an exceptional year. We secured $9.4 million in funds following a years-long battle with the City of Garden City to protect our co-op service territory. We also sold Sunflower Electric Power Corporation, our 2nd Street warehouse in Great Bend, once our new Great Bend facility was completed. These 2 transactions, along with a capital credit payment from Sunflower Electric, allowed Wheatland to pay off long-term debt in the amount of $19 million. This prepayment of this long-term debt equates to $17.8 million savings in long-term interest expense. Speaking of capital credits, we returned our largest capital credits payout, $2.25 million, to our membership. Eligible members from 1989, 1990, and 2021 represented checks at our capital credit harvest days in December. This marks 6 consecutive years, totaling $7.25 million returned to our membership. It is our responsibility to ensure that we do not expend the opportunity to create an even more stable and sustainable foundation for success. We are well positioned to deliver on our vision of providing essential services that are safe, reliable, and competitively priced to enhance the lives of our members. I'm happy to announce that Wheatland is budgeted to retire $1 million in capital credits in December of 2023. I say budgeted, barring any unforeseen circumstances that could change these plans. Day in and day out, our employees work tirelessly to make sure that when you flip that switch, the power is yours instantly. But behind the scenes is a powerful system at play and a team of professionals at work, inspecting and replacing our poles and wires daily. using sophisticated mapping systems and technology to ensure safe and reliable service, testing and inspecting meters for accuracy and dependability, answering your questions and anticipating your energy needs, collaborating with community leaders to encourage economic growth across our service territory, and braving the elements during unexpected events so that power is restored when you need it most. And that's just a snapshot. Look around the room here and at the remote locations for the Wheatland employees wearing Wheatland apparel. Let's take a minute and recognize the employees of Wheatland Electric. As the 5th General Manager and CEO to serve Wheatland Electric, I'm proud and humbled to lead an organization that has stayed true to its original mission from 1948, to make electric energy available to all its members at the lowest cost, consistent with sound economy and good judgment. Our commitment to our core principles remains as steadfast today as it was decades ago. How we deliver services might look a little different today, but we still aim to improve the quality of our members' lives, which allows us to stay true to our current mission of delivering energy for life. I can't end this story without a mention of safety. Here at Wheatland, we expect and require employees to work safely. We focus on safety training daily, so all of our employees are ready to work each day in a safe manner. The most important thing to me is for all employees to return home safely to their families and loved ones each day. On behalf of all your co-op employees and the Wheatland Electric Board of Trustees, we hope you enjoy our annual meeting celebrating 75 years and celebrating you, our members. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve all of you. Until next time, take care. Are there any questions for the membership about our 2022 story? We'll give a minute if there's any remote questions. Okay, no questions. Next, we have our youth scholarship presentations, and I'll turn this over to our Director of Member Services and Corporate Communications Director, Allie Conine.
Sorry. The Electric Cooperative Youth Tour has brought high school juniors to Washington, D.C. for a week in June every year since the late 1950s. Students apply to their local electric cooperatives for a sponsorship to visit the nation's capital. Wheatland is also proud to sponsor the Cooperative Youth Leadership Camp in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Students from Oklahoma, Colorado, Wyoming, and Kansas attend this camp at the Glen Eden Resort every July. We are so excited to be sending students back to Washington, D.C. and Steamboat Springs after a 3-year break due to COVID. This year, we chose 4 outstanding juniors to attend the trip of a lifetime. We are excited to announce that Brinley Stevens from Scott Community High School and Ashlyn Howard from Great Bend High School will attend the Electric Cooperative Youth Tour in Washington, D.C. this summer. Congratulations. Two alternates were also selected for both leadership experiences in the event someone is unable to attend. Congratulations to Alexis Powelson from Scott Community High School and Alex Heckel from Conway Springs High School. Congratulations again to each of our winners. Each year, Wheatland also awards up to $14,000 in scholarships to high school seniors who will be attending post-secondary institutions. This year, we've awarded 13 scholarships to students attending a high school in Wheatland service territory, and 1 scholarship to a student who has a parent or guardian who is a Wheatland member but does not attend a high school on Wheatland lines. If you are present, please come forward when your name is called, and please hold your applause until all students are recognized. This year's recipients are Wesley Weishar from Argonia, Peyton Toole is our at-large recipient, Aniston Lee from Caldwell, Madison Haley from Chaparral, Faith Stuhlsatz from Conway Springs, Audrey Musel from Deerfield High School, Naomi Olivas from Great Bend High School, Kaya Berstrom from Holcomb High School, sorry. Carlin Wolk from Greeley County Tribune, Taya Samuelson from Norwich High School, Brooke Strine from Scott Community High School, Camden Butler, South Haven, Yadira Moreno from Syracuse, and Elise Whalen from Wichita County High School. Congratulations again to all of our recipients. Okay. Next, Chairman Arnold will recognize Wheatland employees for their years of service and commitment to the cooperative.
Thank you, Allie. In addition to their everyday roles and responsibilities, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our employees for going above and beyond in Wheatland's community outreach initiatives. Since our service territory is so spread out, employees are also recognized in person during employee appreciation lunches at every Wheatland office location. If you are present, please stand as you're recognized. And again, let's hold our applause till the very end. Thank you. 5 years, Heath Hill, Garden City, Tara Watson, Tribune, Jim McVeigh, Great Bend, Janine Biera, Garden City, Manuel Gonzalez, Syracuse, Keith Verbas, Garden City, Megan Sneath, Garden City, Sheena McKinley, Garden City, Derek Holt, Harper, Jessica Preisner, Great Bend, Andrea Tucker, Scott City, Riley Wagner, Tribune, Stephanie Fontenot, Garden City, 10 years, Tyler Gehring, Harper, Creighton Dimmel, Great Bend. Chris Shirley Harper. Justin Skelton, Garden City. Chris Oliver, Syracuse. Katie Eisenhower, trustee. Where is trustee, Katie? Oh. 15 years, Lucy Martinez, Garden City. Paul Aginaga, Garden City. Eric Newberry, Garden City. Jim Welker, Scott City. Mark Douglas, Harper. Clay Shelton, Harper. Jeline Kuchel, Great Bend. 20 years, Perry Smith, Garden City. Mike Illy, Great Bend. 25 years, Jevin Castleman, Scott City. 35 years, Chris Huber, Great Bend. 40 years, Rick Klaus, Garden City. Do we have any old business that needs to come before the meeting? In that case, we'll move to new business. Oh, I'm sorry.
At the moment, we had plans to put, so the question is, were there any plans to put a electric vehicle charging station in Scott City, correct? Not at the moment. We had put it in the budget this year for a level 2 charger, but as we met with the Highway Department and the Inflation Reduction Act, there's plans to put one on 83, a level 3 charger, which is about, you can charge a vehicle in 20 minutes. And so once that gets in charge just somewhere north of here, that will pretty much negate having to have one here in Scott City. Now, if that doesn't come in the fact, we can put an EV charger here in Scott City, but it would be a level 2. The reason we're putting in level 2s is we can put a level 2 charger in for about $15,000, 2 of them. A level 3 costs about $150,000, and so it's kind of a financial reason. But there is one in our Garden City office and one currently in our Great Bend office, so in the future, hopefully.
Question. Thank you. Any others? All right. In that case, we'll move to new business. Do we have any new business that needs to come before the meeting? All right. Hearing none, we will have Jim McVeigh present the nominating committee report.
Thank you, Chairman Arnold. The nominated committee report, first I want to announce who they are, and I want to give them the cooperative's thanks for the role that they play. And I'd ask them if they're here or at any of the locations them to stand. The nominating committee in District 1 is Ed Cupp. I think I saw Ed here, didn't I? District 2, Mylan Reimer. District 3, Dale Wetzel. Thanks, Dale. District 4, Pat Riley. District 5, Jason Doherty. You going to be able to stand with that thing? Right. Okay. District 6, Lane Moore, Great Bend. And District 7, Troy Deerking. I want to, if I could, get a round of applause for those folks for volunteering for Wheatland. This year, we have 4 districts up for election. District 1 serves members in Scott and Logan counties. District 2 serves members in Wichita and Wallace counties. District 4 serves members in Hamilton County and the western half of Kearney County and Prowers County, Colorado. District 5 serves the eastern half of Kearney County, all of Finney, well, the Finney County, where your service territory, and Gray counties. This year, as I said, there are 4 up for nomination and election. The following trustees have been nominated by the nominating committee for the positions of trustee. District 1, Katie Eisenhower at 1106 Myrtle, Scott City, Kansas. District 2, Josh Young at 112 South Genesee, Leota, Kansas. District 4, Stacy Addison Howland, 911 North Norris in Syracuse, Kansas. And District 5, John Kleistuber, 6310 East Old Post Road, Garden City, Kansas. In addition, the following candidate has been nominated by petition as established by the Wheatland bylaws. District 1 is Lynn Freeze at 2061 West Road, 230, Garden City, Kansas. I'm sorry, Scott City, Kansas. Thank you for correcting me. The additional nominations are possible. Wheatland bylaws currently allow nominations from the floor. At this time, the chairman shall call for additional nominations from the floor, and the nomination shall be governed by the rules and regulations as to nomination and districts as set heretofore in the bylaws, and shall not be closed until at least 1 minute has passed, during which no additional nominations have been made. To determine your nominations from the floor, obviously a good idea to find out what the qualifications must be to serve. And our Article 4, Section 3 of the bylaw states that no person shall be eligible or become or remain a trustee or to hold any position of trust in the cooperative who, 1, is not a member and not taking service in an area served or to be served by the cooperative. 2, is in any way employed or financially interested in a competing enterprise or business selling electric energy or supplies to the cooperative or has a conflict of interest of such. 3, has a close family member that is an employee of the cooperative. A close family member means a spouse, parent, child, sibling, grandchild, grandparent, aunt, uncle, niece, nephew, and the same in-law and step relationships. Article 4, Section 4 requires that any member nominated must be a resident of the district for which they are nominated. At this time, if there are any nominations from the floor, please stand, face the podium, and state your name and the full name of the member being nominated. If you are in a remote location, please stand so Wheatland staff may notify meeting organizers. We have 1 minute. And I see none here, and I see none from the remote locations. If there are no nominations from the floor and hearing none, I will accept a motion and a second to accept the slate of candidates as the trustees for another term for the nomination committee from the uncontested elections. Therefore, the only election of trustees for the membership needs to be on and is the District 1 between Katie Eisenhower and Lynn Freeze. So at this time, I'll accept a motion and a second. Second? All in favor of accepting the slate of candidates other than the contested election in District 1 signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. None from the remote locations, thank you. I'd like to introduce at this time, in the contested election, they'll be allowed to give a 3-minute speech if they'd like to do so. And then after the speeches are done at that time, we will discuss the potential bylaw changes that you all be voting on before you vote. And we will go from there. So I'd ask Lynn Freeze if he'd like to give a 3-minute speech to step up here to the podium. Yeah.
Is that close enough? There we go. I hope it's not a mandatory 3 minutes, but for those of you that don't know me, my name's Lynn Freeze. I was a 38-year employee of Wheaton Electric. Born and raised north central Oklahoma. Family made the land run in there, so needless to say, rural America has been my background. Since retiring, I've been running livestock, so I still have an interest in rural America. With that being said, I would appreciate your vote.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our second candidate and the incumbent in District 1 is Katie Eisenhower. Katie, would you please step to the microphone?
Well, good afternoon. As your incumbent, I have a little bit more that I have to share with you, but what warms my heart is this contested election has provided the perfect opportunity for members to actively engage, and we wish that every year it was like this. The management and employees of Wheatland have put so much into this 75th anniversary, and they did it all for you. As your trustee and your board vice president, I have the advantage of my day job as Scott County's economic development professional, working really well at the Wheatland board table. The SEDC board has encouraged me to serve as your trustee, knowing that it's mutually beneficial for Wheatland, for SEDC, and it provides opportunity for my own professional growth. I could not have made the time commitment, though, if it were not for the 10-member SEDC board. Eco-Devo efforts require a good, strong working relationship with utility companies for success and growth. Case in point, it is my honor today to announce that the City of Scott City, with the help of SEDC, was awarded a $750,000 grant to help fund the infrastructure improvements to the SEIP North Lawrence Addition. That $750,000 will be critical to fast-tracking the extension of sewer and/or water. SEDC, Wheatland Electric, and Sunflower Electric were partners in that application, so thank you very much. When appointed in 2013, I was the only woman in the room. Today, there are 7 women in the board meetings between staff and trustees. My presence at the table has impacted Wheatland by encouraging re-engagement in the youth tour program. Statistics do show that promoting youth leadership also increases the likelihood that extraordinary young adults come back to our communities to live and work. That's a win-win for everyone. Once I merely mentioned my disappointment in how much was written off monthly in bad debt expense, and if it was possible to utilize the skills of our own people to improve that situation. Bruce and the management team crafted better policies with higher deposits and created the prepay program that is wildly successful today. No longer do the members who work diligently to pay their electric bills on time subsidize the bad behavior of others. This is huge and can allow more in capital credits to be paid out to you, the members. But all accolades go to Pam Brungart's team. Less than $5,000 is reported monthly now. In a genuine effort to earn your vote today, I visited all 7 districts. Questions were asked about this nearly $400 million company, and questions were asked about me. People who work with me know and have seen how I work, and that I'm well prepared, well informed, and that I bring a unique style, a unique skill set to the boardroom. There's a lot of wisdom at the Wheatland board table, but for all practical purposes, we are merely a governance body that's required by law for cooperatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn and Katie. In addition to the election of the trustees, as you'll see on your ballot, the board has proposed changes to the bylaws. A yes vote means that you accept the proposed changes, and a no vote means that you do not support the changes. The sections of the bylaws in which changes are proposed are included in an insert in your ballot and that you receive in the presentation during registration, and proposed changes are in bold red print. I'm going to now summarize those changes for you and provide some reasoning that the board provided in bringing these forward for vote today. The big change would be that we're expanding democracy. We are allowing more people to vote by expanding voting to mail-in balloting. That is on the changes for today. With mail-in balloting, however, you give up the opportunity to make nominations from the floor. Mail-in balloting, we believe, will expand the number of people who will be able to participate in their cooperative. And think about it. How many folks are out there right now, young men and women, raising kids, got to make sure they go to work every day, and can't come to an annual meeting that's in the middle of the day and the middle of the week. This will expand that concept to spreading democracy throughout the cooperative, and that's why the trustees pushed this forward for your review. The other thing is the ballots must be returned before 5 days before the annual meeting, before they will be counted. In this change, there's a change that give the trustees the authority to pass policies on the qualifications of trustees and other rules and regulations relating to mail-in balloting as well as management of the cooperative. Now, this is an initiative actually so that the board can hold themselves even more accountable with education requirements, understanding there's a $388 million business that they're now running, requiring significant financing and significant education required to run such a company. And there's all kinds of opportunities for education now throughout the nation to assist in this endeavor of running this kind of company. And with this type of authority, for the first time, the board would allow them basically hold themselves accountable to make sure that they all get that kind of education. The fourth change was the nominations by petition would go from 15 people signing a petition to 25 people signing a petition. Understands that the bylaws were passed in the 1940s when our membership was significantly less than half than it is now, and that's when you had 15. Our membership is more than doubled during that period of time. And so having 25 people sign a petition is probably a good idea in the board's eyes. Obviously, that's something for you all to look at. The nomination committee can only nominate 2 candidates from each district, but remember, nominations by petition are unlimited. That is no way in any way taking the significant power within the board, because you still have the authority to nominate by petition an unlimited number. Are there any questions about the bylaw changes or any input that any member would like to have? Let me check. I see none here. Let me check with the remote locations. And this year, by the way, we now have the technology that they'll be able to speak directly here, and you'll be able to see them on the screen. One question? I didn't hear what he said.
Question from Harper.
Okay. I'm going to get my glasses. This is the first time we've worked with the technology, so give us a little time to make sure this works. There we go. And
Scott Blueball, Mayor of Harper. And my question is, what type of qualifications? You said something about education, and why is this necessary? We're the people who vote for those people. So if we want an uneducated person that you call education to represent us, then why can't we have that person? My second question is, why did we all of a sudden need the power? Does the board want this power to create this? It just seems like a power grab by the present board, and I'd sure like to have a little bit more answers than what you've given us earlier.
I understand your question first. Why the additional education? If you elected him, why would you need an additional education beyond what they have when they first come to a co-op? And I think the answer is fairly straightforward, and that is once they get here as a trustee, it's a new company, a new issue, a new industry, a very complicated industry dealing with generation, distribution, transmission. This is a $388 million business that requires significant financing, how to read balance sheets. There is a whole need to understand rate design and how rates are put together, a whole issue with how you deal with our wholesale provider. There is a host of things that people don't get an education of before they get to this job. And it is so important that they understand those issues to make sure they represent you and represent you properly and represent you at the national level in these situations. Without that education, those people that represent you are significantly handicapped from doing just that. So I think that answers the first question. The question is whether it's a power grab. I will address that only by saying I don't see how it's a power grab when, in fact, what is happening, they're expanding the number of people that can participate. It wouldn't be a power grab if these same trustees, for example, today, decided to make sure there is one of these at all 7 of our locations, we're running this, and they can participate from all over our territory. There is no power grab. There is a diffusion of power to you all, the members, in deciding how this cooperative is run. Does that answer your question, sir?
Okay, apparently I didn't make myself clear. The way I understand it is your qualifications are to be a candidate, or that's the qualifications you have to become after you become a trustee. So I want to know, what are the qualifications to become a candidate, to become a trustee, not afterwards. I understand you got to go through education for this stuff. So, but at the same time, what are the qualifications to become a trustee?
Answer to the question is, under the new board policy, would be up to the people that represent everybody here and at every one of these locations to make that determination. They would have to meet those same requirements as anybody else they would bring in. So they're holding themselves accountable to it. The current bylaws, I mean, I can't sit here and try to catalog every possible thing that they may do in the future to say what it would be a good idea to have somebody to be a candidate for trustee. But again, every one of them would have to be responsible for making sure they had those same qualifications to be a trustee. So to say this is a power grab or an overreach is we need to put it in context. And the bottom line, currently we have no minimum education requirement. We have no minimum other than you have to be a member. You have to reside in the district, and you can't have a conflict of interest with your job. So far, that's it. Is there any other questions? I'm sorry, one more question? Can I get you to stand up and wait till the mic, you get the mic?
Please state your name and your question.
Chris Chandler. I just need a little more clarification on the education. You're stating prior, we don't, doesn't really matter on the education, but moving forward, is that going to make a difference? With the vote, yes, or are we going to have different education is my question.
Question is whether or not there is going to be a change in the education requirement. There's no way for me to speculate that what some board 20 years from now, 10 years from now will do. I'm just telling you now that they're responsible to each other for having that. At this point, there is no education requirement as long as you are a resident of that district, you're a member taking service, and you don't have a conflict of interest. I think that the policy as it is directed would be to make sure once they become a board member that they obtain the appropriate knowledge to help be an effective board member to compete in this very competitive market.
Thank you.
Additional questions? Thank you for the question, sir. And I appreciate everybody's questions, especially down in District 7, those 3 questions from that gentleman. Are there any other questions? Seeing there are no further questions from the staff, no further questions here, I'd like to introduce the the ballot counting committee. The ballot counting committee is Randy Coleman, if you would stand, a long time Western Kansas. Randy is going to be on the ballot counting committee for the election we have today. Larry Brown, he's still here. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time. Terry Farrow, and I hope I pronounced that correctly, Terry, did I? Farrow? Yes, sir. And an Arlen Reed. Arlen, are you still here? Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. At this time, I'd like for you to cast your ballots if you haven't already done so. Send them all to the end of the table, and we will have those picked up. The ballot counting committee, if you would please cast your ballots and then meet me in that little room right around the corner there in the entranceway, and we will get these ballots counted, and the returns will be announced shortly.
Concern for community is a core principle that sets Wheatland apart from other types of utility companies. We champion and implement programs that foster the strength and long-term success of the communities we serve. We accomplish this through scholarships and youth leadership programs designed to help develop the next generation of leaders, as well as rural economic development grants and loans designed to bolster the local economy, increase jobs, retain talent, and provide essential services. In addition, Sharing Success Grants, St. Francis Ministries Christmas for Kids, Cram the Van, and other programs allow us to support numerous organizations that help serve community needs. While keeping the focus on our member owners, we work for the sustainable development of our communities. We are proud neighbors that live, work, and volunteer right alongside you. Feel the power of community. Feel the power of ownership. Wheatland is an electric cooperative owned by the people we serve. Every member holds power: the power to vote for representation and governance, the power to receive excess margins, the power to improve the communities in which we live, the power to be heard. Wheatland is owned by its members. Wheatland is owned by you. Because we are member-owned, Wheatland can focus its efforts on accessibility and long-term goals. We can offer higher quality and better reliability at a more affordable price. We can invest in upgrading infrastructure and community goals instead of serving the interests of a few investors. The power lies within you, our members. You have the power to vote for trustees and other important matters at our annual meetings. You have the power to earn retired capital credits. You have the power to better our communities by participating in local initiatives such as Cram the Van. You have the power to be heard by attending our annual meeting and community events, or by reaching out to your local office or elected trustee representatives. The power lies with you. It isn't always easy to safely deliver power 365 days a year. It takes hard work, sacrifice, and a strong electrical infrastructure to ensure safe and reliable power to our communities. It takes a special kind of individual to work in a bucket raised high in the air in sub-zero temperatures while winds are howling and snow is blowing. But it speaks volumes to the level of commitment our line workers have in serving our members. Our commitment is safety focused, and we do our best to ensure our safety equipment and training are in line with top of the industry standards, with the goal of our employees making it home safely to their families every single day. It takes the commitment of reinvesting in our infrastructure to ensure it has the strength and vitality to stand up to the sometimes harsh Midwest weather and minimize outages. It takes commitment for management and consumer services representatives to balance the interests of our members with compassion towards individuals. It takes commitment to the communities we serve to help bolster the local economy, retain businesses, develop talent, and provide essential services. With a commitment towards long-term sustainability, we've implemented programs and policies that help prepare Wheatland to meet the future demand and energy needs of our members while controlling excess expenses. Member education and engagement is paramount. It takes commitment from you, our members, to ensure the leadership of Wheatland is innovative and member-driven. You can do this by voting for trustees and governance that keep Wheatland forward-focused, ensuring safe, reliable, and competitively priced services for generations to come. Feel the power of commitment. Wheatland knows that anything built by man, Mother Nature can destroy. That is why we invest millions of dollars every year in infrastructure upgrades and maintenance. We are a rural electric cooperative with over 100,000 poles and 4,500 miles of power lines. As far as we're concerned, the 4,499th mile is just as important as the first. We keep the grid resilient by regularly inspecting poles and lines, testing equipment, and building in redundancies with the goal of minimizing the frequency and duration of outages. We are resilient because of our investment in technologies to identify outages more quickly. In order to remotely monitor 32,000 plus meters, we utilize an automated metering infrastructure, better known as AMI. AMI meters provide faster, more efficient outage detection and diagnosis. System operators can ping meters to get a clear picture of what is happening in the field and deploy crews to restore power, oftentimes before the member calls in to report an outage. We utilize aerial robotic equipment to increase resiliency and reduce risk to employees. If roads are impassable due to snow or mud, we utilize drones to fly the power lines and identify the cause of the failure. It is much safer and more efficient than sending someone out in a pickup or try to physically drive the lines. We also realize we are not an island unto ourselves. Electric cooperatives, like other cooperatives, operate according to 7 principles. Principles 6 and 7, cooperation among cooperatives and concern for community, are most relevant to the concept of mutual assistance. From the very beginning of the rural electrification program in the 1930s, electric cooperatives have relied on other cooperatives to assist in times of disasters. This practice continues today, increasing the resiliency of our grid and that of other electric cooperatives. It is required of us as stewards of our co-op members' capital to ensure that we do not squander the opportunity to create an even more stable and sustainable foundation for success. We are well positioned to deliver on our membership's top 2 goals, affordability and reliability. We may not know what the future holds, but we will continue to poise ourselves to be resilient and adaptable to those challenges that lie ahead. Feel the power of resilience. Concern for community is a core principle that sets Wheatland apart from other types of utility companies. We champion and implement programs that foster the strength and long-term success of the communities we serve. We accomplish this through scholarships and youth leadership programs designed to help develop the next generation of leaders, as well as rural economic development grants and loans designed to bolster the local economy, increase jobs, retain talent, and provide essential services. In addition, Sharing Success Grants, St. Francis Ministries Christmas for Kids, Cram the Van, and other programs allow us to support numerous organizations that help serve community needs. While keeping the focus on our member owners, we work for the sustainable development of our communities. We are proud neighbors that live, work, and volunteer right alongside you. Feel the power of community. Feel the power of ownership. Wheatland is an electric cooperative owned by the people we serve. Every member holds power: the power to vote for representation and governance, the power to receive excess margins, the power to improve the communities in which we live, the power to be heard. Wheatland is owned by its members. Wheatland is owned by you. Because we are member-owned, Wheatland can focus its efforts on accessibility and long-term goals. We can offer higher quality and better reliability at a more affordable price. We can invest in upgrading infrastructure and community goals instead of serving the interests of a few investors. The power lies within you, our members. You have the power to vote for trustees and other important matters at our annual meetings. You have the power to earn retired capital credits. You have the power to better our communities by participating in local initiatives such as Cram the Van. You have the power to be heard by attending our annual meeting and community events, or by reaching out to your local office or elected trustee representatives. The power lies with you. It isn't always easy to safely deliver power 365 days a year. It takes hard work, sacrifice, and a strong electrical infrastructure to ensure safe and reliable power to our communities. It takes a special kind of individual to work in a bucket raised high in the air in sub-zero temperatures while winds are howling and snow is blowing. But it speaks volumes to the level of commitment our line workers have in serving our members. Our commitment is safety focused, and we do our best to ensure our safety equipment and training are in line with top of the industry standards, with the goal of our employees making it home safely to their families every single day. It takes the commitment of reinvesting in our infrastructure to ensure it has the strength and vitality to stand up to the sometimes harsh Midwest weather and minimize outages. It takes commitment for management and consumer services representatives to balance the interest of our members with compassion towards individuals. It takes commitment to the communities we serve to help bolster the local economy, retain businesses, develop talent, and provide essential services. With a commitment towards long-term sustainability, we've implemented programs and policies that help prepare Wheatland to meet the future demand and energy needs of our members while controlling excess expenses. Member education and engagement is paramount. It takes commitment from you, our members, to ensure the leadership of Wheatland is innovative and member-driven. You can do this by voting for trustees and governance that keep Wheatland forward-focused, ensuring safe, reliable, and competitively priced services for generations to come. Feel the power of commitment. Wheatland knows that anything built by man, Mother Nature can destroy. That is why we invest millions of dollars every year in infrastructure upgrades and maintenance. We are a rural electric cooperative with over 100,000 poles and 4,500 miles of power lines. As far as we're concerned, the 4,499th mile is just as important as the first. We keep the grid resilient by regularly inspecting poles and lines, testing equipment, and building in redundancies with the goal of minimizing the frequency and duration of outages. We are resilient because of our investment in technologies to identify outages more quickly. In order to remotely monitor 32,000 plus meters, we utilize an automated metering infrastructure, better known as AMI. AMI meters provide faster, more efficient outage detection and diagnosis. System operators can ping meters to get a clear picture of what is happening in the field and deploy crews to restore power, oftentimes before the member calls in to report an outage. We utilize aerial robotic equipment to increase resiliency and reduce risk to employees. If roads are impassable due to snow or mud, we utilize drones to fly the power lines and identify the cause of the failure. It is much safer and more efficient than sending someone out in a pickup or try to physically drive the lines. We also realize we are not an island unto ourselves. Electric cooperatives, like other cooperatives, operate according to 7 principles. Principles 6 and 7, cooperation among cooperatives and concern for community, are most relevant to the concept of mutual assistance. From the very beginning of the rural electrification program in the 1930s, electric cooperatives have relied on other cooperatives to assist in times of disasters. This practice continues today, increasing the resiliency of our grid and that of other electric cooperatives. It is required required of us as stewards of our co-op members' capital to ensure that we do not squander the opportunity to create an even more stable and sustainable foundation for success. We are well positioned to deliver on our membership's top two goals, affordability and reliability. We may not know what the future holds, but we will continue to poise ourselves to be resilient and adaptable to those challenges that lie ahead. Feel the power of resilience. Concern for community is a core principle that sets Wheatland apart from other types of utility companies. We champion and implement programs that foster the strength and long-term success of the communities we serve. We accomplish this through scholarships and youth leadership programs designed to help develop the next generation of leaders, as well as rural economic development grants and loans designed to bolster the local economy, increase jobs, retain talent, and provide essential services. In addition, Sharing Success Grants, St. Francis Ministries Christmas for Kids, Cram the Van, and other programs allow us to support numerous organizations that help serve community needs. While keeping the focus on our member owners, we work for the sustainable development of our communities. We are proud neighbors that live, work, and volunteer right alongside you. Feel the power of community. Feel the power of ownership. Wheatland is an electric cooperative owned by the people we serve. Every member holds power: the power to vote for representation and governance, the power to receive excess margins, the power to improve the communities in which we live, the power to be heard. Wheatland is owned by its members. Wheatland is owned by you. Because we are member-owned, Wheatland can focus its efforts on accessibility and long-term goals. We can offer higher quality and better reliability at a more affordable price. We can invest in upgrading infrastructure and community goals instead of serving the interests of a few investors. The power lies within you, our members. You have the power to vote for trustees and other important matters at our annual meetings. You have the power to earn retired capital credits. You have the power to better our communities by participating in local initiatives such as Cram the Van. You have the power to be heard by attending our annual meeting and community events, or by reaching out to your local office or elected trustee representatives. The power lies with you. It isn't always easy to safely deliver power 365 days a year. It takes hard work, sacrifice, and a strong electrical infrastructure to ensure safe and reliable power to our communities. It takes a special kind of individual to work in a bucket raised high in the air in sub-zero temperatures while winds are howling and snow is blowing. But it speaks volumes to the level of commitment our line workers have in serving our members. Our commitment is safety focused, and we do our best to ensure our safety equipment and training are in line with top of the industry standards, with the goal of our employees making it home safely to their families every single day. It takes the commitment of reinvesting in our infrastructure to ensure it has the strength and vitality to stand up to the sometimes harsh Midwest weather and minimize outages. It takes commitment for management and consumer services representatives to balance the interest of our members with compassion towards individuals. It takes commitment to the communities we serve to help bolster the local economy, retain businesses, develop talent, and provide essential services. With a commitment towards long-term sustainability, we've implemented programs and policies that help prepare Wheatland to meet the future demand and energy needs of our members while controlling excess expenses. Member education and engagement is paramount. It takes commitment from you, our members, to ensure the leadership of Wheatland is innovative and member-driven. You can do this by voting for trustees and governance that keep Wheatland forward-focused, ensuring safe, reliable, and competitively priced services for generations to come. Feel the power of commitment. Wheatland knows that anything built by man, Mother Nature can destroy. That is why we invest millions of dollars every year in infrastructure upgrades and maintenance. We are a rural electric cooperative with over 100,000 poles and 4,500 miles of power lines. As far as we're concerned, the 4,499th mile is just as important as the first. We keep the grid resilient by regularly inspecting poles and lines, testing equipment, and building in redundancies with the goal of minimizing the frequency and
If you do it in both, you're kind of like, you have to all.
All right, the results are in. The following trustees have been elected to the Wheatland Electric Board of Trustees. District 1, Lynn Freeze. District 2, Josh Young. District 4, Stacy Addison Howland. District 5, John Kleistuber. The proposed bylaw revisions have passed. We will now announce the winner of the grand prize, a retro refrigerator and a $200 beef bundle. The grand prize winner is Marilyn Dreyer from District 1. Congratulations, Marilyn. Are you still here? Stick around and Wheatland employees will help you load the retro refrigerator and we will provide you with details regarding your beef bundle. Additional door prize winners have already been drawn. Winners' names are displayed on the video screen. For those winners in Scott City today, you will be able to pick up your prize at the prize table before you leave. If you are a winner at one of the remote locations, we will notify you and how you will be able to pick up your prize. Several of the prizes were donated by vendors and we'd like to thank them for their contributions. We will now retire the colors. '23 annual meeting of Wheatland Electric Cooperative Incorporated adjourned. Thank you.